All right, today we're going to break down the mind of Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. But how in the world did he build a mindset that was just unbeatable? What was the psychological engine that really powered him to greatness? Let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this dominance. A staggering 28 total Olympic medals. Just let that number sink in for a second. 28.
And get this, of those 28, an almost unbelievable 23 of them were gold. I mean, that is more than double the next closest Olympian in history. Just wow.
And here's a way to really put that into perspective. If Michael Phelps were his own country, he would rank third all-time in swimming medals. It's a level of dominance that's almost impossible to even comprehend.
So, what does it actually take? How do you forge a mind that's capable of that kind of sustained, relentless excellence? Well, it's about way more than just physical talent, that's for sure. It's about building resilience, discipline, and this unwavering belief in yourself. We're about to walk through a masterclass in a champion's mindset.
So, let's get into it, because the first pillar of his mental fortress, well, it's probably not what you'd expect. It wasn't just a simple love of winning. It was an obsession that was born from doubt.
I mean, can you even imagine hearing that as a kid? A teacher told a young Michael Phelps, who, by the way, was struggling with ADHD, that he would never amount to anything. He says he still remembers her name, her face, and exactly where he was sitting in that classroom.
But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of letting that crush him, it became his rocket fuel. His internal response was simple, and it was defiant. Watch this. He literally transformed every single piece of external doubt into this powerful internal fire that would burn for his entire career. And this right here, this reveals a huge piece of his psychology. His primary driver wasn't the pure joy of victory. No, it was an intense, gut-wrenching hatred of defeat. For Phelps, silver wasn't second place, it was losing. And this aversion to failure became his ultimate motivation.
Okay, so you've got all this fire, this fuel from doubt, but how do you actually channel that into world-shattering results? Well, you do it through a work ethic that became the stuff of legend. He basically treated preparation like a religion.
Check this out. For one stretch, leading up to his absolute peak, Michael Phelps went 6 full years without missing a single day of training. No weekends, no holidays, no sick days. 6 straight years.
And the routine? It was just brutally simple and absolutely relentless. Wake up, train, eat a massive meal to recover, go home, nap. Wake up, eat again. Go back to the pool, train again. Go home, eat, sleep, and then do it all over again every single day.
You know, he and his coach had this powerful way of thinking about this whole process. Every single one of those grueling practices was a deposit in the bank. The goal was to build such a massive account over 4 years that when the Olympics finally came, he knew with unshakable certainty that he had outprepared everyone else on the planet. He was just there to make a withdrawal. And this quote, man, this just brilliantly sums up his whole philosophy. When he was faced with a training regimen that nobody else was willing to endure, his response was never why. It was always why not.
But here's the thing. The work wasn't just physical. For Michael Phelps, the race was often won months, even years, before he ever dove into the pool. It was won right up here, in his mind. He used this technique he called playing the videotape. He would mentally rehearse 3 different scenarios. First, the perfect race, seeing it unfold exactly as he dreamed. Second, the disaster race, imagining everything going wrong. And then, and this is the genius part, the third tape was the what-if tape, where he'd visualize overcoming any possible problem, a ripped suit, a late start, you name it. And then, it actually happened. In the 200-meter butterfly final at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, the biggest race of his life, his goggles filled with water the second he dove in. He was swimming completely blind. And the outcome is what's truly remarkable. Because he had visualized this exact what-if scenario, he didn't panic, not for a second. He just fell back on his training, calmly counted his strokes for each length, something he had practiced thousands of times, and touched the wall perfectly. He not only won gold, he broke the world record.
But you know, after conquering the entire swimming world, Phelps's greatest challenge and his greatest evolution was still to come. He had to redefine what victory meant to him entirely.
This quote, this was the old Phelps, an absolutist mindset where anything but gold was a failure. Second place was losing, period. And this is the new Phelps,
After retiring, he opened up about his own severe struggles with depression and anxiety. And this profound shift in perspective led him to a mission that he now considers far more important than anything he ever did in the pool.
So today, he channels that same obsessive focus into destigmatizing mental health, telling the world that it's okay not to be okay. He advocates for water safety and healthier lifestyles, using his platform to make a completely different kind of impact.
You know, Michael Phelps' story really shows us the power of a focused mind. First, it was aimed at a finish line in a pool, and now it's aimed at saving lives. It leaves all of us with a powerful question to reflect on. What goal in your own life is truly worth that level of obsession?